Today on Bike Trekking with Carl, I'll be doing the entire Mary Towneley Loop. In this video, I'll be giving you a comprehensive look at this route so you can do it yourself. In this video, I will show you some of the key attractions. I'm going to show you the literal highs and the literal lows. In this ride, I am pushed to my very limits. By the end of this ride, I was quite literally hallucinating. Now your likes, your subscriptions, your comments really do help me out, and I do read your comments, so please do check back to see if I have responded. So without any further ado, let's do this. What makes the Mary Towneley Loop such a challenge? Well, let's say I told you today I was cycling up Scarfell Pike. That would be an ascent of 978 metres. But say I wanted to do an even bigger mountain, Snowdon at 1085 metres. But even better still, I travel to Scotland and do Ben Nevis at 1345 metres. Well, none of those have as much ascension as the Mary Towneley Loop, which comes in at a whopping 1720 metres of ascents. That is staggeringly difficult, and the surfaces make this even more of a challenge. For most of the ride you'll be cycling on bridleways, cobbles, grass, and in some cases smashed up rock. This ride is unrelenting. 47 miles of pure hell under the wheel and heaven for the eyes. And today we're starting this out at Watergrove Reservoir in Wardle, Rochdale. Good morning and welcome to the Mary Towneley Loop. This is going to be a super challenging ride for me. Last time I did this, it absolutely kicked my behind, and I don't think that really came across in the video that I made as much. I just underestimated it massively. I am bricking it. I am absolutely bricking it. I'm excited and I'm bricking it. It's the mixed feelings, because this is going to be a proper challenge. Yeah, okay, let's go. One other thing to mention about the Mary Towneley Loop, by the end of it, you'll never want to see another gate in your life. I mean, there's just so many of them. Let's go. I'm going on an adventure. Oh, hello. After jumping on the bike, the nerves melted away instantly, and I even took a moment to stop and pay homage to the starting point of my first attempt of the Mary Towneley Loop. Just a quick shout out, this is where I started the Mary Towneley Loop under a year ago and failed. Following reliving that happy memory, I stopped and said hello to a horse in a continuation of my humanitarian efforts to strengthen the bond between bikes and horses, which I think went amazingly well. Yeah, you see, look, horses and bikes can be friends. I'm off. I'll see you later, mate. I'm probably hugely biased in this statement, but for me, one of the standout areas of this ride has to be Watergrove Reservoir and the surrounding hills. This is my local patch after all, but there was one area on this ride that absolutely blew this out of the water, which will come later on. And along the way here as well, you will get a look at the chimney stacks that hint at the presence of the Summit Tunnel, the old Victorian railway line that runs under the hills here, which is still in use to this day. And before long, I was making my first crossing of the Rochdale Canal. I'm only about 7 miles in and I'm sweating buckets already. Absolutely sweating buckets. That's just a reminder that this was going to be, it's going to be blinking tough. I'm monetized now, so I've got to watch my language. Not that I ever swore that much before, but you know, got to save every penny. Wow, that's like an essay. I hate reading all that, but yeah, if you want to pause it and read all that, then feel free. After a very steep climb away from the Rochdale Canal, I was soon on the moorland just outside of Walsden and Todmorden, and this is a very scenic little stretch. To your left you are treated to a view of Walsden, Todmorden from the sky. There's cows grazing here, this lovely little signpost that just looks kind of iconic to me. There's this really fun little bit of bridleway that's just made out of stones. It was a little bit bumpy, my nuts were shaking everywhere. As soon as I hit the road, I just went for it. It's almost impossible to get any kind of momentum on this ride, just due to there being so many gates and challenging climbs, the surfaces, and my filming as well didn't really help with that also. So every time there's a road, I took full advantage. And before I knew it, I was at Lumbert's Mill. This tower is a water tower. Inside it, there were 3 huge water wheels that would power the mill.
And that's what it is, it's a mill tower. It looks pretty cool though, doesn't it? Can't beat the old mill tower. And if I remember rightly, we're going to pass the pub. And again, I've got a craving for a beer. Tasty pint. Thank you very much. What a gentleman. Thank you.
On the journey towards Hebden Bridge, I passed Studley Pike. This was constructed originally to mark the end of the Napoleonic Wars and then rebuilt to mark the end of the Crimean Wars. If anything, it is a monument of peace. There was a descent down into Hebden Bridge where we passed through the enchanted forests of the area.
There's something very mystical and magical about the way that the forest has eaten up all of these old mill buildings, and you can see them just protruding from the trees. I don't know what it is about forests in Yorkshire, but they always just feel a bit magical to me. Just a little bit.
And then up again onto the open moorland, where I managed to find a lovely little gem.
A little top tip, New Delight Inn, just stopped here, got some water. I made a little note of it, there's like a campsite nearby as well, so if you're bike packing it, could be a really good little spot to stay. So just behind me there's a little sink and you can fill up. So happy days. We're not going to be having to drink any of the brown water of the hills just yet. Well, that could be coming.
I pressed on through the literal ups and downs of this route on towards Heptonstall Moor. And at this point, I really did feel like I had this ride in the bag. My confidence was soaring, but there was something that was starting to raise its head that was going to become a huge problem in the next half of the ride, and that was the wind.
Oh my god, I think we're about to get a spectacular view. It's so windy up here. I'm actually getting cold, even though I'm going uphill into the wind. Oh. Oh yes, this is why you do it. This is why we all do it. For times like these. For times like these.
Spurred on by the amazing view of Wardle Reservoir, I sped down the hill, expecting to be out of the wind once I was off the tops. But to my surprise, the wind was still there, and it wasn't going anywhere.
This wind could be problematic. It's really strong. Let's tuck in behind this wall and try and have something to eat. Look at this, both a spectacular view behind and behind again. You can't lose no matter which way you're looking.
After a very windy hop, skip and a jump, I was at Widdop Reservoir, and I had a little bit of a moan because I couldn't fly my drone now because the winds were too strong, and this is the standout reservoir of the ride for me.
There was one reservoir I wanted to capture with the drone, it's this one. Because it's spectacular. This could be in like the Scottish Highlands. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the vista, the hills around it, the rocks, everything. It's just magnificent.
By now I'd been fighting the wind since Heptonstall Moor and my energy reserves were really beginning to dwindle. There was a tough climb out of Widdop Reservoir and there was a headwind the entire way. This would continue all the way to Holme Chapel, so miles and miles of cycling across moorland into headwinds, and this is where I really started to burn out.
I just turned the camera on now because I just fell over. Where I fell, it's actually felt in quite a comfortable place. It's nice, feels good on my back, like an orthopedic pillow or something, you know. It's really getting that on my back.
The next part of the ride can be summarised as undulating bridleways, great climbs, harrowing ascents, 2 new reservoirs, Hurstwood Reservoir and Cant Clough. Following Cant Clough there's this awesome little place I've just called the Shire because it looks a lot like the Shire. And then after that there's another climb and a descent down into Holme Chapel, which marks a very special chapter of this ride for me.
This is officially where I had to quit last time. I had to pack it in here. So this is the furthest I've been. This is the furthest I've been on the Mary Towneley Loop. But we are by no means finished yet. So I've got some concerns. The wind's still strong. I mean, because it's a loop, at some point it must be at my back, right? We've got the biggest ascent of the ride. That's still to come. And I can't find food anywhere. I was hoping there'd be somewhere I could buy food in Holme Chapel. There's a couple of pubs there, but they're not open. And there's no shops nearby. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go without. I've got Haribo left. But I would love to be able to get a little something from a shop. But hey ho, no point thinking about that now. Right, let's carry on.
Right now I'm thinking about the story of Sisyphus. He was tasked to push a boulder up a hill for eternity, only to have it to roll back down when he got to the precipice. And that's a lot what this ride feels like at times. You're constantly going up to come back down, just to go right back up again.
Oh my God. Oh, this has been so awful, I forgot about this. The air of heaven is that which blows between a horse's ears. Lady Townley, MBE, 23rd of February 1935 to the 13th of February 2001. Pause a while beside this monument and remember Mary, whose vision opened up once more these ancient roots so that you too can refresh your spirit as the wild and romantic terrain of the Pennine Bridleway unfolds before you. Yeah, I feel refreshed. I've never felt more refreshed. That is what it says. Yeah, refresh. Oh, I can't believe I made it to the monument. I wish I had something more poignant to say, but I got nothing left in me. I've got nothing left in me to give right now. All I've got left in me is what I can give to this ride and getting me home. Oh. I don't know whether I'll include this. I've literally just been seeing things. I thought I saw a mountain biker coming down right at me, and then I blinked and he wasn't even there. Like an apparition. I'm losing me marbles, seeing things. It was just for a second. It's not like I started to have a conversation with somebody that wasn't there or anything, you know. So I'm not going to worry too much. But it was a very uncanny thing. 16.6 miles to go. It's still a lot, man. Still a lot.
This segment of the ride was very much just bridleways. Bridleway after bridleway. I struggled to pick out any defining features, and it did feel like this.
It just feels like you're fighting for every metre that you move.
And this was probably very much driven by the lack of food. I hadn't eaten for hours now, and it was starting to take its toll. I was rationing water near Clough Bottom Reservoir, with lots of men in camouflage and with big cameras. I assume there's some good bird spotting there or something worrying's going on. I decided to make an early descent down into Lum, where I followed Burnley Road, desperately looking for somewhere where I could refuel. I needed food and water, and I was going to take whatever I could get.
Oh my god, fish and chip shop.
Oh. So it turns out like corner shops are just like dead. There's no corner shops in England, but chippies are going strong. So that's what we're having. So I am sat in, I don't even know where I am, somewhere near Lum, and I'm in a car park with some goats. And I'm just going to eat this and just think about my life choices and how poor they've been. So here we go, continuing. Right, my body is a temple. A big mound of chips and curry sauce. Wow, that's a big mound. That is so good. I honestly thought I wasn't going to get any food at all. I was getting a bit worried. But here it is. Curry, chips and sausage. Get in. If anybody's following along and they want a meal plan, I'll make them available on the page. Camping kebabs, Mary Towneley Loop chippies. That was a good chippy. That was a good chippy. $6.90 for all that as well. And she really packed it full as well. Like it was too full. It was falling out everywhere. Maybe they took pity on me because I just looked so desperate. With a full belly, I made my way down to Waterfoot, where I began what for me was the hardest ascent of the entire ride. And at this point, I was painfully aware the sun was getting very low in the sky. And this is where stubbornness and stupidity set in. I refused to look at my phone anymore because I didn't even want to know what time it was. And it felt as though it took me an hour to move a mile in this section. I don't know whether that's true or not, because as I said, I refused to look at my phone, and at this stage the thought of failure was devastating to me. I'm not gonna lie, I think that climb has just killed this ride. Like there is no way. I don't know, I'm not feeling good about finishing this, to be honest with you. The sun's getting low. And right now I just want to be home with my wife and kid and my dog. It's getting dark and I'm getting worried. Just gotta keep going. But I might have to start looking for somewhere to bail here soon and start thinking about an exit plan. Because that hill was a killer. I mean, it was out of this world. Slow, just so slow. And after my lowest low, I was hit with a feeling of serenity. Some people call this third man syndrome, some people call it spirituality. I felt as though I wasn't alone. It was almost a scary feeling, but comforting at the same time. And this for me is the standout part of the ride. And people who know this road here will know what I'm talking about. The views here are spectacular. Unfortunately, I just had nothing left to give to get the drone up or capture any more than what I've done here. I really have not done this justice. This really is, to me, the most magical part of the Mary Towneley Loop. With a renewed sense of determination, I started to make a move. I made my way down Rooley Road, where I swear at one point I started sweating pure salt.
Oh, my sweat's so salty, that sun's just got in my eye, and it's killing.
After rinsing the salt from my eyes, I witnessed the most amazing view of Manchester city centre that I've ever seen. Went down into Healy Dell. Healy Dell's an amazing little area. You have lots to see there. Viaducts, fairy chapels, there's a cafe there if you go at the right time, shops, places to refuel. Then I headed up over the hills towards Watergrove, which is where I was going to finish this ride, but the sun was going down so quick I was still not sure I was going to make it. And at this point I had my second pretty major hallucination.
I think I've walked in on something fucked up going on over here. There's a car parked and a lot of smoke. Well, it turns out that smoke's just a house. Oh my god, what's wrong with you? Not even a hint. Okay, that's Brown Wardle Hill there.
Watching this now, I'm quite surprised how casually I brushed that off, but I genuinely did think I was witnessing an arson attack, and with barely any battery left and my phone completely dead, I arrived at the location where we started in the morning with literally no time to spare.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I did it. That has to be one of the, if not the hardest thing, I can't even speak. That has to be one of the hardest things I've done in my life, if not the hardest. Like, that was so hard. So hard that I never want to ever do that again. Ever do that again. Oh my god. I've got barely any battery left. My phone's run out of battery, so I had to charge it using the drone. So hopefully it's got some charge. I can call my wife so she's not like doing a nut. But yeah, this is it. I can't believe I did it. That is the hardest thing I've ever done. Like the full Mary Towneley Loop in one day. Like ever since last year, since I failed to do it. Like, it really, really upset me not finishing it. So to come back this year and finish it and actually get this done, it's just out of this world, man. That is a tough ride. That ride is solid. I mean, I know some people do it every year as like a thing. Oh my god, that is a tough ride. One day, unsupported, just on a standard bike, carrying all my kit, all my gear, filming it. I don't know what the film is going to look like, because towards the end everything just kind of went wrong, but here we are, we are done. So that is the end of the video. I don't know how else to sum it up, but if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching, because this has been, I don't know if it's going to be the best or most watched video I've ever done, but this is going to be the hardest ride I've ever done by far. Okay, bye-bye.
And as the sun slipped away out of sight behind the hills, and with my own words still ringing in my ears that I would never want to do that again, I thought to myself, I wonder what it'd be like to do this clockwise. But maybe that's a question that's best answered in 2026. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Okay, bye-bye.